We started crying because we was thinking of the other people's lives that had been taken, that we saw float down the river.
If these scenes convey some of the horror of being trapped in flash floods, remember, the worst ones could never be photographed. Listen to two Colorado residents describe the Big Thompson Canyon flood.
He took his wife and two children out the back door, put them in the pickup, and he turned around to go back to lock his door, and the wall hit. It slapped him up against the back of his house. He grabbed the gutter and pulled himself up out of the water, spent the night on his roof. And it wasn't but a few minutes, the whole front of his house tore off.
But his wife and children were gone.
He saw my wife come out of my garage in my Scout, and just as fast as you could say, scat, they were all gone.
First came the lawn furniture, and then came the live gas tanks off of campers and stuff, and then came the saw logs and the wood piles, and then came the cars and the trucks and the campers, and cars had lights on them and the people in them, and the lights were still on them. There was people in them, and you couldn't even get close to this because of all the debris coming down.
There was no way to help any of them.
No way. No way. And you couldn't even hear them scream, thank God, because the roar was so bad.
A flash flood is an elemental force of nature. In most cases, there is nothing we can do to prevent them. But we can help people avoid being trapped and killed. And we can help them save at least some of their property. Meteorologist David Sisk of the National Weather Service describes what has been done in the Pittsburgh region.
Beginning in 1980, the National Weather Service, in cooperation with the state and counties in western Pennsylvania, began installing the new sophisticated automated radio rain gauges in 6 counties in southwestern Pennsylvania. It collects rainfall on a real-time basis. Looking at the gauge at the top, the rain falls into the funnel. It's collected inside. When enough rain is collected of approximately 5/100ths of an inch, the tipping bucket tips, sending a radio signal to a county tower where the rainfall is stored in a computer and then pulled. With the use of the computer terminal here, we can access the automated radio rain gauge data, and screening the rain gauge data through the various counties, we can take a look at rainfall over an hourly basis or down to even a quarter-hour basis and relate that with what we are seeing on our radar screen. We can make use of this data in order to issue watches and warnings to the public.
A unique system is being developed in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Dr. Ray Jensen of the Applied Systems Institute.
This is the Tulsa Environmental Monitoring and Warning System, a system that is being developed for the city of Tulsa. A lot of emergency management agencies or civil defense agencies have the capability to receive radar information and to display that radar information. But in this particular system, we're able to take the radar information, both the radar echoes that are commonly seen over television and the radar estimated rainfall reports, and display that data on geographical areas ranging from the sides of a state down to 6 by 6 miles. We are able to get rainfall reports from 31 automatic stations which report from time to time at operator-selected intervals, but they don't have to guess in Tulsa anymore about how high the creeks are going to rise. This system has the capability through computer software to input the radar estimated rainfall over a drainage basin into what we call hydrologic tables. These are tables which relate the amount of rainfall to the amount of flooding that would occur in a particular creek in a drainage basin, and also the time that will occur.
Advanced systems like these will help Weather Service forecasters predict flash floods and issue warnings. But warnings will do little good unless people hear and heed them. One useful tool, a NOAA weather radio that broadcasts weather information 24 hours a day. Some models will emit a loud alarm automatically when danger occurs. Another all-important tool, this list of personal safety rules. Heed warnings of impending flash floods. Many flash floods happen at night when visibility is poor. Evacuate your area immediately when you're advised to. Climb to high ground when a flash flood is upon you. Don't try to outrun it on foot or by car. Abandon your car immediately if water begins to rise over the road on which you're driving. Above all, do not drive across a flooded road in your car or truck. Many try it. Some don't make it. How can a foot or two of water cost you your life? Water weighs 62.4 pounds per cubic foot and typically flows downstream at 6 to 12 miles an hour. When a vehicle stalls in the water's momentum is transferred to the car. For each foot the water rises, 500 pounds of lateral force are applied to the car. But the biggest factor is buoyancy. For each foot the water rises up the side of the car displaces 1,500 pounds of water. In effect, the car weighs 1,500 pounds less for each foot the water rises. 2 feet of water will carry away most automobiles. There are things we can do to escape the dangers of flash floods. Whatever we do, we should remember that rain will fall again, and in a flash, turn tiny streams into raging floods, sweeping away buildings, boulders, trees, cars, trucks, and people with incredible force. Those who've survived will never forget them.
We kept our arms wrapped around the tree for hours, just waiting for help.
It wasn't but a few minutes, the whole front of his house tore off.
But his wife and children were gone.
It was a great big metal building. It had to be like about 60 feet long, and it was totally wrapped around a trailer truck that was over there.
Absolutely scared to death. Never been so frightened in my entire life.
You can't imagine that water can have that kind of awesome power